I said on that last video where I talked about dating that I was going to update y'all, so here I go. And then after I make this post about dating, I'm done. I'm done dating, and I'm done talking about dating. I'm not done dating because I'm done with men. I still like men. I still want one for myself. But I'm not going to be actively dating. The person that I'm looking for is also looking for me, and I run into them, great. But if not, I'm done. I'm done with these men out here. So let me tell you what's going on with the men that I've been dating in the last year and a half. I prefer black men. I prefer men my age. I'm 62. So we're talking about elderly black men, I guess. I guess I am elderly. Here's the common theme. They've lived these hard, rough lives, and now they're finally ready to settle down and slow down. But of course, they're sick. They're sick as fuck. Almost every black man that I have dated is diabetic, okay? A few of them can no longer get an erection. Some of them have heart issues, cholesterol issues. They get tired easy. Physically, they are a mess. The other thing that's a trip is that now at the age of 60, they're all ready to settle down. They're all finally ready to share themselves. But they ain't got nothing to share.
Dating stories are wild because they all start the same way. Hope, curiosity, a decent outfit, and end with you staring at your phone like it personally betrayed you.
So I keep seeing these videos of people asking, why is it so difficult, so challenging to date in your 50s and 60s? What's the issue? Let me address this for you. First and foremost, at 60, I'm not here for your crap. I'm not here for you to disturb my peace. I'm not here for you to drag your drama, trauma, and lack of counseling onto my person. Because I have dealt with my issues. I'm not looking to train nobody. I ain't looking to try to upscale nobody. I'm not looking to help you get anywhere at this point. You should be where you need to be and doing what you need to do. I'm not here to show you how to be a man. I'm being a woman. I'm going to let you handle that. But I'm not here for you to disturb my peace under any circumstance. So if you got a problem with communicating, if you got a problem with affection, if you got a problem with spending time and opening up, and stay home. Because once again, we just don't need it and we don't want it. So there's your answer. Feel free to comment.
One date in and they want to know if I'm feeling chemistry. Sir, at this point, I don't even know if I'd loan you a book. That disconnect sums up dating in your 60s perfectly, maybe especially after a very long marriage has ended. Because when I started dating again, I was still in pick-me mode, contorting myself to be likable and desirable. We're so done with that. So here are 3 things that I've learned the hard way about dating at this age. Number 1, even the good guys lie by omission. I state clearly and upfront, I don't lie. I don't lie overtly and not by omission. And I expect the same in return. When I started stating that out loud as a deal breaker, the truth started coming out fast. One guy admitted that his ex-wife had a permanent restraining order against him. Another wasn't actually divorced, he was just separated. These aren't harmless white lies. If someone is trying to hide information from you that affects your ability to see the situation clearly, they're not protecting you, they're manipulating you. Okay, number 2, I don't travel to them and I don't pay. One time I drove 90 minutes, so it was like halfway between where the two of us lived. Between the time I left my house and I got to the place where we were supposed to meet, he had deleted his profile and blocked me. Like, what the hell? Another time I was at dinner with someone, he was in the restroom when the bill came, so I paid it because, like, I'm a human. I ate, right? I figured I'll just be nice. Never heard from him again. Lesson there, I'm not subsidizing anyone and I'm not chasing anyone. And number 3, to me, dating apps feel contrived. In real life, you can just quietly observe someone for a while, see if they're emotionally stable, how they treat people. Online, literally all you know is that you're both single. Most men act like one date is enough to know if I'm feeling chemistry. Again, like, I don't even know if I'd drive you to the airport at this point. How can I possibly know if I'm going to let you into my trusted inner circle? Dating isn't off the table for me, but, when you know better, it's time to do better.
So here's a modern dating commentary for you, especially for the "we're grown, please act like it" age group. Let me tell you something nobody warns you about dating later in life. The older the birth certificate, the younger the emotional behavior can get. You expect maturity. What you sometimes get is a 63-year-old with the conflict skills of a middle schooler who just discovered disappearing is easier than communicating.
All right, I have a date story for you. So a couple of weeks ago, I kind of already talked about this date that I went on. A couple of weeks ago, I went on a second date with someone, but let's start at the first date. The first date, he took me to a Mexican restaurant. The music was so loud we couldn't even talk, so we didn't, get to kind of know each other hardly at all. And then he asked me out again. Then he traveled out of the country for 3 weeks for his business, and then he asked me out again, and I said yes, and he didn't even plan anything like, he's like, where should we go? And I'm like, oh my God. So he picks this place that's not even good food. I don't even want to say the name of it, but the food is not good at all. It's not like the best place. So I said, I'll book it. Fine. So I booked at a very hard to get in restaurant here, but I have a connection there. So got us a great table, had good food, good conversation, everything was going well. And then we get to my house. He's gonna drop me off, and he's like, you can see yourself to the door, right? And I'm like, yeah. And did not come in for a kiss. I'm like, okay, good night, thank you. Awkward. So I just said, whatever. So a couple days later, he's like, had a good time. Sorry, I'm running late in responding or texting you. And I said, no worries. And he said, I'd like to take you to dinner again. And I said, let's do it. Yeah, I had a good time, so let's.
You go on date 1. The restaurant is so loud it sounds like the speakers are being paid by the decibel. You're nodding, smiling, pretending you heard the story about his dog or his divorce or his dental surgery. Could have been any of them. You leave knowing his appetizer choice, but not his personality. Date 2, somehow you end up planning it, booking it, confirming it, probably designing the menu too. Congratulations, you are now the unpaid project manager of romance operations.
Do it. That was like 2 weeks ago. Nothing. Not a word from him after that. Not a word. And then I saw him out last night. I knew I would run into him, and I just said, you know what, I'll be nice, but I am not interested any longer. And so he's like, came up and he's like, I'm sorry I haven't been in touch. And I'm like, it's all right. He's like, well, I've just been really busy. I said, you know what? It's the least of my worries. It's the least of my worries. And he's like, okay. And so we're just talking small talk, and he goes to the bar. We're at a table as girls, and then he after that, he comes back a little later on, and, just, sorry again, sorry. I've just been so busy. I said, I am super duper busy too. And he said, well, I just really would like to take you out again. And I said, listen, I'm looking for a man that has integrity to do what he says he's going to do, not to ghost me for weeks and then expect a date.
Oh, what did that shock you? Did that surprise you? I said, but you know what, we can be friends. Little boy walked away. At this age, he's 63 years old. The little boy walked away from me without saying, I respect that. I respect your boundaries. No. Bye-bye.
Dating when you get older is very, very different, especially when you're crossing the threshold that I'm crossing. And I say threshold because it's one thing to be dating in your 40s and 50s. That's one thing. But in about, in about 10 days, I turn 60. So I've been saying, I'll be 60 in a few months for a few months now. Getting used to saying 60, because you'll see when you get here. Hopefully you get here. But when you get here, you'll understand. So it was a few months ago, to tell you how weird it gets. A few months ago, I got set up on a date. Very attractive woman, 42 years old. Okay? And we're out at dinner. And of course, the conversation goes the way it goes. And then sooner or later, she mentions age. And she says, how old are you? And I said, I'm a few months away from turning 60. She goes, oh, wow. She says, well, I'm only 42. I said, yes, I was told you're 42. And she goes, wow, that's like 18 years difference. I'm like, yeah, 18 years difference. And then comes the question. And then it comes in, and I'm like,
Then comes the drop-off moment. The vibe is unclear. No kiss, no hug, just a polite, you can get the door, right? Sir, I opened the restaurant reservation, emotionally carried the evening, and now I'm opening my own door too? Incredible efficiency. Then, silence. Not a text, not a meme, not even a wrong number accident. Weeks go by. But here's the plot twist. They always reappear, like seasonal allergies. Oh hey, been busy.
I know it's coming. And she says to me, am I the youngest girl you've dated recently? Oh boy. I wish at that point in time I could just lie, I wish I could just say, oh, of course, yeah, 42, so young, But me being the honest individual that I am, I said, no, you're not the youngest. And I tried to leave it there. But of course, she said, well, how old was she? And I said, 21. And she stared at me for about 10 seconds. And she goes, 21? That's half my age. Again, your math is excellent. That is correct. And she goes, why would you go out with a 21-year-old? I said, she asked me. She asked if I, wanted to go out. And I said, sure. It happens here in Vegas. It's a strange phenomenon, but here in Vegas, girls ask you out. They're not shy. So the look on her face, basically dinner was over at that point. I had just admitted to being with a girl half her age, and that absolutely blew her mind. So I don't, how do you date older women if you have to admit dating younger women? Do you just lie? I don't know what the rules are. But I thought you'd find that interesting. I'm still trying to figure out. If you have a suggestion, I'd love to hear it. Tell me what you would have done.
I've had horrible luck since I started dating, and I have taken a pretty long break from it. But tonight I'm going out with someone who has driven 4 hours to take me out for dinner. So let's see how this one goes.
Baby, these men been tearing me up in the comments, I tell you. I had a couple of men tell me that the ladies only talking about these men is looking for some place to stay. They need a caretaker. They want us to give them money. And I just want to say this again, because I've already said it once before. I'm only sharing my experiences of what I've been through. I'm not trying to bash no men. I'm not trying to talk bad about any other man. Just the men that I've had experiences with. And I'm sure that's what the ladies are talking about in my comments. They're talking about their experiences. So men, if you want to get in the group chat or get in the comments and explain to us ladies what it is that we might be doing wrong or saying, but nobody's trying to bash men. I'm not a man basher. I'm just giving my own experiences of what I've been through. That's it. I ain't trying to do no more.
Dating Chronicles over 60. Recently, I had an opportunity to be out here in them streets, ran into a guy, and he was like, yeah, you always be talking trash about men and everything on social media. He said, you went to Henry Ford. Yeah, well, I went to Mumford, and, we used to be wearing on y'all or whatever. Baby, strike one. Okay, that was 50 years ago. I'm not interested in high school athletics or competition. That was 50 years ago, okay? Then he says, yeah, I'm on my way to gym, he a nice body, my calling card, because these women out here thirsty, these older women, they just thirsty and I'm the glass of water. And I'm like, oh no, but you youthful and dynamic. No, baby, I'm old too, strike two. But then let me tell you something. He had the nerve to say, yeah, because I'm trying to get this disability and maybe, you doing that legal, you could help me. And he was wearing a diaper. A diaper, yes. I was like, strike three. This is not the Wild Wild West. I don't barter my legal services so I can get a man to come up. That's just not interesting to me. So on the dating site, well, let me tell you something about that. How about Carl with a cigarette behind his ear? Shout out to the judge. Okay. How about then Marlo? Okay, very good. Okay. He tell me something. I want you to do to me what you used to do to them people in your courtroom when you was on TV. What? I don't want to do that in my dating life, okay? Then we get Tommy. Where Tommy said the love traveler would travel to you. Like, what do you think? We trying to buy sex or something? But here's the problem. Women over 50, over 60 are desperate. Why? Because these misfits think that they can actually come on here and pull a thoroughbred like us. Listen, ladies, if you in your right mind, okay, your body is working and is functioning, you are winning. Stop being accessible to men who don't really mean you any good. These men trying to come up and they trying to come up on our expense. I am not buying no man and I'm not lowering my standards. So I'm going to keep on going on my dating chronicles and I'll keep you informed. But in the meantime, remember, love yourself because true love comes from within. Be blessed and have a great day. Bye-bye.
What happened to the 60-year-old? Oh, I got rid of him. And it wasn't too far. It wasn't too much longer after the last time I told y'all about him. It was literally a few days. So we had a conversation, an hour-long conversation, right? Y'all know me. Like, I like to ask the stuff worth asking. I ain't about to ask you what your favorite color is. We're conversing, right? And I noticed something in that first conversation. It's about an hour long. So I'm like, okay, let me try to do another one. We do another hour-long conversation. And then I confirm what I already thought the first time. That man ain't asked me nothing about myself. Do y'all know how much information men give me? Just unsolicited. Just talk. That man didn't ask me nothing about myself. I was like, oh, I already see this shit ain't going nowhere. And then turned around and was like, this was a great conversation. I bet it was. I bet it was. You talked about yourself the entire time. So then he calls again, like a couple of days later. And I look at the phone, I'm like, so I answer, it's him.
I'm on my way from work, headed to Walmart just to pick up a couple. So why are you calling me? You could have texted that to me. When I tell, it was literally like a 5 to 6 minute conversation about nothing. Did you have something that you wanted to say? Because I don't need to know that you headed to Walmart to get some groceries. The conversation is ass. And that's going to be an automatic turnoff. Listen, you really have to grab my attention with conversation. Otherwise, I'm not interested. A hard fucking pass. I can't. I don't care how cute you are. I don't care how much money you make. If your conversation is ass wipe, I'm not interested. So, and right after that, I deleted his number. He called again, and I ain't even pick it up. Nor did I call back. And then I saw my homeboy in the gym probably a few days later. So my homeboy tells me this 60-year-old man still wear gold fronts. Men are so fucking unserious. Men are so unserious, in my opinion. I don't even date men my own age that wear gold fronts. It's unattractive to me. I just don't like it. So, and to be 60, sir, you ain't got but a few years left. I guess he was just like, you know what, let me live my best life. Let me do all the things that I wish I would have done in my 40s and my 30s and my 20s. Let me get me a pair of gold fronts. Like, men are so unserious to me. And so I noticed, like, after that video last night, I have a couple of new followers and people kind of liking that video. Let me just set the record clear. I'm not going out seeking 60-year-old men. I'm just not. Like, I want someone that's closer to my age. Maybe like 50 would be as, if I'm on the dating scene and I'm swiping through dating apps, it's going to be between the ages of probably 37 and 50. And 37, because even at 37, 38, you could still have a kid who can stay home by themselves. Anything less than that, you probably got a young kid, and no thank you. But people have asked, like let me before I say that, let me just say this. Even at 60, you got to be a unicorn. You got to have a little zhuzh to you. Like, you got to have that something special. Like, maybe you don't look 60, because this man looked like he was 50. That's the reason why he got my number. He looked like he was in his 50s.
Busy is fascinating because somehow people are never too busy to scroll, snack, stream, and send reaction emojis, but they're too busy to send one complete sentence. Let's translate. Busy often means you were not prioritized, but I'd like another chance without accountability. And when you finally say calmly, like a fully evolved adult, I'm looking for consistency and follow-through, watch what happens. Some people short-circuit. You can practically hear the system reboot, because boundaries are shocking to people who benefit from you not having any.
Okay? Or 50. And it's because he worked out. Because he was in the gym regularly. And I refuse to date another man who does not work out. You don't have to have a six-pack, but if you don't work out consistently and make a conscious effort to get in the gym or walk at bare minimum, because baby ain't gonna be nobody's hospice wife. Like, you gotta be, taking care of yourself. If you eat at McDonald's and Chick-fil-A and Hardee's and all these other places on a regular basis, you barely drink water, you ain't trying to eat no protein, I'm good. I can't do it, because that's how I live. Like, I don't eat a lot of fast food. Now, this is daily, and I really monitor what I eat, because I'm still dropping some weight. And so I don't need someone who constantly is eating fast food to come, and then we hanging out and stuff. And then, I'm eating the same. My ex-partner, he gained 40 fucking pounds. I was out. When we met, we were going on walks in his neighborhood together. We both were active. I stayed active. I gained a little bit of weight because I got off of keto. And, you know, if y'all know what keto is, I got off of keto and I got back to a regular diet. So of course I gained a little bit of weight, but I was still working out. I still worked out. I hit his weight, his apartment complex's weight room regularly every time I was over there. I would try to get him to come out with me. He wanted to lay on the couch. That man gained 40 pounds. And I refuse. Now, you know, at this point, like, I already care about him, so I'm trying to help him drop the weight because he complaining about it all the time. But I refuse to deal with another man who, like, my pants getting too tight. And then the next month, Lord, I really need to give me another pair of pants. Sir, you knew that the last month. Don't be complaining about it. Do something about it. Or just refuses to try to live as long as they possibly can. I'm not being anybody's hospice wife, nor hospice girlfriend. I met at this time, it was a couple of years ago. He was like 38, 39. This man had so much going on. And he was like, but I could still try. I'm not, sir. Get somebody else to do it. He had he had kidney failure and he was on dialysis and he had a host of other things. I can't do it, babe. I'm sorry. But before I wrap this up, then people come by and be like, you know, what about TikTok? You on TikTok so much. Have you met anybody? I have crushes on TikTok. You know, a handful of them. But my thing with TikTok is there's a plethora of people up here. And I would be open to it. Where I get hung up at is I will see someone who I know has tried to get at me. And then I will see that same person under my mutuals video and If ever you got the option between me and somebody else, go choose that other option, babe. So the person has to not only look like a unicorn, but actually be a unicorn. You can't tell me, hey, I'm different than everybody else, or I'm this way. I got to see it, babe, because the way it's looking, everybody looking like everybody else.
So here's the thing about dating after 60 that nobody tells you. It's hard. And you're probably going to get your heart broken a few times. But that's okay. We're in it for the long run. We're hoping to find that true love, that last true love. And if we can just stay patient and hang in there, hopefully it's coming. But ladies, don't ever, ever settle for breadcrumbs. We deserve the whole loaf. Keep going and just know I'm here to support you.
Now let's talk age gap dating conversations, because those are comedy specials waiting to happen. Nothing clears a dinner table faster than honest math. The minute numbers enter the chat, forks slow down. You can actually see people calculating life choices in real time. But here's the bigger truth nobody puts on dating profiles. A lot of people don't want connection. They want convenience. They want companionship without responsibility, access without effort, closeness without consistency. And when you stop auditioning and start observing, everything changes. You stop asking, do they like me? And start asking, do they show up well? You stop over-explaining your standards. You stop negotiating basic respect. You stop mistaking availability for suitability. Dating at any age isn't about chasing sparks. It's about watching patterns. Because chemistry is cute, character is useful, consistency is undefeated. And if someone disappears when you communicate clearly, perfect. The trash just didn't take itself out. It's scheduled pickup. End scene.